roll from existence.
What have we done?
I think we're turning back.
Call up to the gods and reach the sky. My soul is lost, I will not die. And it is so far is hell on earth. Tragic end of man for what is. And remember, Batman has always got your back.
Welcome into the fourth Mother Box. Ladies, gentlemen, Apache helicopters, action figures, Scourge, the thrash metal band. Welcome. You have two fourths? Yeah, half of Scourge here right now. I am Tom Okrie. Welcome into the fourth Mother Box. You are following us on Instagram at Fourth Mother Box, all one word, Twitter Fourth Mother Talk, and YouTube.com/Fourth Mother Box. Yes, YouTube, and I gotta make a shout out that you guys are tuning in. You're tuning in with me, Tom Okrie, and the secret ginger man over there,
Secret Ginger,
Kyle Cosentino. Kyle, how the hell are you today?
We also have a handle on OnlyFans too. You forgot to mention that.
I don't run our OnlyFans, but if you're out there, just make sure you split the coin purse with me when you're showing your coin purse off. So how you doing, Kyle? How the hell are you today?
I'm doing all right. What's going on over there in Florida?
Just it's Florida-ing. It's the middle. Good Lord, it's the end of July. August is Tuesday. Yeah. It's...
Can you cook a steak on a sidewalk there?
No, I mean it's hot, but it's not that hot. You're more than like. I mean, you could do that probably in closer to doing that in Phoenix than here. It's just on the surface of the sun in Arizona. We get a break with rain and shit, but yeah, it's just Florida. The theme parks are busy. I don't care. Don't listen to that media trying to scare you from going to Disney World, or keeping you from Disney World, or telling you Disney World is doing poorly because they're not right now. However, Thursday, a brand new festival, Food and Wine Fest, started. So that always brings the resort fatties. They were out aplenty, Kyle. They were out aplenty.
I feel like they should just hand out stretchy pants at the front gate when you walk in for the Food and Wine Festival. Because let's face it, you're walking out of that park after the Food and Wine Festival like half dead.
Yep.
I mean, you're just filled with all the food, all the wonderful food
that's true.
there.
It's true. If you want to see more of it, go on our YouTube, check it out. We've got a little bit under 5-minute video of it. I'm not one to just take videos of food and show you the insides and shit. There's enough people on YouTube doing that. I'm just showing you our day. And Kyle's gonna have a bunch of content from an upcoming trip he's gonna make. You wanna let the people know, a little tease there, Kyle?
Yeah, I will be going to California Disney. Both parks, Disneyland and California Adventure. Now, I was there last when I was a little kid, and so I don't really remember it much. And I don't think I've actually been to California Adventure. Well, also, I am going to go to Universal, which I know nobody from Jedi Talk has been there, surprisingly. And I will be checking out the new Super Mario World there. So I'm very excited to do all that and see how the California does their Disney, whether they've kept Walt's vision alive or, pissed all over it.
I'd love to know, because every time I'm in Disneyland, I feel the vibe that I don't feel in any other theme park that I've been into. I've been into 4 worlds, 2 lands, and 1 or 2 in Paris. And every single park that I've been inside, and you and I have been in the same ones, Kyle, or at least once you're done at California Adventure, we'll be in the same one. Disneyland is the only one where I get this different vibe than the rest of them, man. It's the original. It's the only park Walt stepped foot in. It's just special. It's special.
Yeah, and plus it's like it opened in 1950s, right?
55.
55. Yeah. And I feel like the only thing that's really majorly untouched there is Main Street, right? I mean, because that's really like the old world, that
they've revamped it in new shops and closed and reworked some stuff like they've done at Disney World. The confectionery looks a lot different. So it's untouchable from a sense if you're saying like they'll never change that land.
Yeah.
To like its core idea, right?
It's kind of like old America, you know, and there's something really nostalgic about that, especially in today's world where who knows what America even means at the moment, right?
Yeah. One day, hopefully, we'll get a chance to go to Marceline, Missouri and see the inspiration for Main Street USA, where Walt grew up a good portion of his life, where he attributes a lot of that. I've seen some pictures, and I'm sure they can't just do Marceline justice, but I know there's a Walt Disney Museum there and stuff, so one day. But, Kyle, did you see Barbie? Because apparently everybody else has this week. Have you?
I have not, and I don't want to.
I haven't seen it either, and that's just the thing. That's kind of what I want to talk to Kyle about. So first off, here on the Fourth Mother Box, we spew, puke, and diarrhea and bleed out of our ears literally anything we feel like talking about. So in front of us, and you open up the Instagrams, or if you go to OnlyFans looking at buttholes like Kyle over there, you're going to run into some Barbie marketing. Barbenheimer was a big thing last weekend, and we'd be stupid not to talk about it, right? And it's so funny, and I love that Kyle said he's not going to see it, because guess what? And this goes to all the insecure masculinity out there. The movie's not for us. It's not for you. Go see it. But like, if you walk out of it thinking like, oh well, this was so. I don't know, Kyle. The problem I have with this is like people judging without seeing it first, right? It's. I feel like so many people just get so wrapped up in what, like, the bigwigs in the media is trying to get us to fight about this time. Like, why can't anybody just go see the movie they want to see and be okay with it anymore?
Yeah, I think this is just a trend now. Every movie that comes out apparently has to be controversial or offensive. I saw an article earlier today that like Oppenheimer is offensive. I'm like, oh, Jesus, like,
why?
Really? Like, are we just gonna? I swear, is there somebody out there that just thinks that this will drive, people to see these movies if they just make it controversial? Are they looking to piss people off so they just gravitate towards it to see what it's all about? Like, how about just focus on writing a good movie and people will go see it? Yeah, there's some movies for men, for women, for whatever, like different people, like, it's not one for me, but
right.
It's probably one for other people. And I don't know how to comment on like the whole, like this is a anti-man film. I mean, a lot of people said that, this about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and it was not. That was all just a lot of just bullshit, in my opinion. Like, that was a straightforward movie that really got robbed because of, what the critics said, and it's sad.
It is.
That isn't doing well. But, surprisingly, and you brought this up, that The Flash is doing well on digital and like movie and like just people buying it.
Right. And
even I saw, because like I have a account on Vudu and I've been collecting a lot of, movies that I really love. And there's a lot of people who've rated The Flash like wonderfully. There was like 17,000 like 5 stars on it. So there's something to be said about that. And maybe marketing can really just, or advertising or the social media can really sway certain people in various ways. So people can't think for themselves. People can't just go form an opinion for themselves. They have to listen to whatever somebody, says on Rotten Tomatoes, right? Or whatever critic says about the movie, which is just bullshit,
It's a
I don't know.
Big piling heap of banter fodder is what it is, Kyle. And you started to crack the ice there of something I want to expand on. People are buying this movie now. It's available on digital in droves, essentially, right? To own it. You're paying more than a movie ticket, but you're owning it, and you can watch it over and over and over again because it did get rather positive reviews. You know,
it's sitting at right now currently 18,802, like 4.5 stars out of 5 on Vudu alone.
it's
So,
pretty good.
I mean, apparently people are really into it, and it's a good movie. If
It
you
is.
look past the Ezra Miller stuff, I mean, holy shit, it's Michael Keaton's Batman, and that if you didn't like anything else, you like that. You'll certainly like his scenes. Like it's just so nostalgic and awesome, and just exactly what we needed.
But this should tell the comic book industry and DC specifically, it's like people care about these characters in the product, but we do not want to, or not we, because you and I saw this opening night, right? But like people in general, comic book movie fans, and just the general audience do not want to invest like hours to go see something that doesn't have a definitive like life ahead of it, right? You know, the Flash could have been built up as like a big end game.
I don't know
event.
if that's a really good argument though, because look at what happened with the Halcyon. You know, this was ending and people flocked to it like in droves, like right. So I don't know if that's necessarily the case.
No, but
Nothing about it makes sense to me, honestly. Like I don't get it. Like I don't get that these two movies, Indiana Jones and The Flash, are one of the biggest mysteries of this year because by all intents and purposes, they should have done exceptionally well, but they didn't. And I don't understand why.
Yeah, should have. The Flash should have knocked it out of the park. It should have been an Endgame, Infinity War level type of movie for DC. And they were always going to build it up to be that way, but then Walter Hamada, Jeff Johns shot themselves in the dick and fucked it all up, right? And look. I want to specifically call something out real quick. Like, will you anti-Snyder fans make your fucking mind up on if we're big enough of a fan base to make a difference or not? Because you flip-flop more than a politician every single time I see you stating that Snyder fans are the reason to blame for the poor success of the DC movies right now. And then I see, but then I see those same people, Kyle, saying that we're you were not big enough to make a difference to push DC to want to make the movies by, the vision that Zach had. So it's like, make up your mind. Are we small, or are we big enough to impact billion-dollar franchises here? Okay, figure it out. I'm really kind of sick of the Snyder hate. Look, you didn't get the toxicity from the fourth mother box. Neither Kyle or I never stuck it out there and boycotted anything that was anti-Snyder. In fact, we stood right in front of it. And Kyle and I are very much in support of what James Gunn is going to do, but we've been very critical about it, rightfully so, because Henry Cavill, see ya. Ben Affleck, bye. Gal Gadot, for all intents and purposes, too. I don't think she's coming back as Wonder Woman.
And I'll say this, too. Even as, like, just superhero fans, like, I've gone to pretty much every superhero movie, even if I thought it looked fucking stupid. I thought Captain Marvel looked fucking stupid, and the Eternals looked fucking stupid. But I went to see it and had an open mind. I mean, I was right when I watched both of those. Hell, I almost fell asleep in Eternals. But, like, you have to make up your own mind about these things. Mm-hmm. Like, is every movie going to be a winner? Is it going to be a hit? Is it going to be like, something that belongs in the trash bin? Maybe like Secret Invasion. I don't know, but
we'll get to Secret Invasion in a second, but I do want to mention, if we're on the topic of Snyderverse, and we were talking about Barbie, two things I want to say about Barbie. One, if you look back to our text messages, Kyle, and I've said this on the show before, but on June 22nd specifically to Kyle in a text message, I said, I bet you Barbie makes $1 billion. Well, guess what? It's halfway there already. So
yeah,
the fourth mother box predicted that. You don't know? It's halfway there after a week? How is this movie not going to make it?
I don't doubt that it won't. I don't doubt that it won't. I'm just like rolling my eyes hard at it. It just seems like it's predictable. And maybe I'm being kind of a hater a bit, but like I think, I want the movies to continue. I want Hollywood to move forward and movies to do well. But I don't know.
I don't know.
It just bothers me that this movie, when somebody pitched this movie, and I heard about this a long time ago, I'm like, well, that's just going to be a movie, that does whatever. I never thought it would be like a box office sensation, and I bet it's probably overhyped too. But
could be, it could be, but like this is just kind of the state of the world right now. I get your point, but this movie's making a lot of people happy, and just let them be happy. I don't care. I don't care. It's not for us.
No, I'm the same way. Like I like thoroughly am grateful happy that people are happy seeing it. I'm more mad at the fact. I'm just more mad at like the Flash and Indiana Jones. It's just like people out there like tank this movie just based on critic reviews and just like I don't know what else. It just seemed like there was a lot of people in the background really wanting these two movies to fail for some reason.
That's fair.
And they were successful. And it just seems like, I don't know.
Well, we truly are in a post-equality world. I saw Hannah Cox say this. She's a libertarian that I follow on Facebook. She's like, and this is speaking from a woman's perspective, right? I'm paraphrasing what she said. She's like, we're finally in a post-equality world. And it's like, well, just now in a post-equality world, right? Because I'm not going to sit here and tell you that women haven't had things more difficult than men. It's fucking documented. And they absolutely have. Okay? Get the hell out of here with that. But it's like we've gotten to the point now where, at least to me, my whole life, we've been on even ground, right? It's generational. It's breeding out. My daughter's going to know that, and her kids and their kids and their kids and their kids, right? And Kyle, the same fucking way, kids or no kids. That's the way he treats people, and that's the way we perceive people. Everybody except for Brad Hughes. But I digress from that. So as we're in this post-equality world, though, with what like Kyle was saying, right? Like the part that is so bothersome is just the subsection of people that want things to fail because it attacks their way of thinking and it attacks their values. And the same thing for the people who want Barbie to fail, right? They want it to fail because they want every movie to be, and not a knock against Indiana Jones, but they want every movie to be somebody who looks like Harrison Ford with their shirt off punching people, right? And then just saying, get off my plane, knocking people off and shit. Right. They want that. And when something comes in and threatens them, and this goes for both sides of the things, we get this stupid war where we pit ourselves against each other. Where it's when you go to the movies, people are just happy to be there. You're happy to celebrate life in that moment. For fuck's sake, stop making everything about this war. I'm happy that Barbie's making money, right? Good for the people involved. But I'm with Kyle, right? Like the people who specifically sought out for the Flash and like Indiana Jones and even all these Disney movies that are trying real hard, right? The Little Mermaid to an extent was a good movie, but there are people out there who just wanted that to fail, But then again, Disney's pushing out some heaping piles of shit too.
I still haven't seen Little Mermaid, and I don't know if I'll actually watch it either when it comes to Disney Plus, just because like I'm kind of done with like the live action remakes. Like I think it's just a cash grab. I think that's really what it is. Like Disney is kind of like tanking it a bit as far as like movies and TV goes. And like I don't think this should be the direction, like write an original fucking movie. It's like,
well, they did with Haunted Mansion.
They did. And so do stuff like that, and create great characters that bring these franchises to life, or the Disney rides, give them more life, because we all love Haunted Mansion. We all love like some of these classic Disney rides that are so like true to Walt's vision. Like give it a story. I love that. I'm going to see it tomorrow, and I can't wait. Like I'm really excited. Haunted Mansion has always been one of my favorite rides. I really hope that they stayed true to that in the movie. So I'm really looking forward to that. Sure.
Yeah. I saw it today, very, very spoiler free. I'm not going to talk about anything involving in it. just my initial thoughts. I had a lot of fun with the movie. And I tried to poke holes in it for a second, but I found myself like getting into the characters. There was some real fun moments, and it's not like a horror film or anything, but there were some great nods to the lore of the Haunted Mansion too. So can't wait to hear what your thoughts are on it.
Yeah, and that's all I hope for, because one of the things I've loved about the Haunted Mansion is just the whole feel and the ambiance. Like it's really, like I've said this many times before, it's not necessarily kid friendly in there. I mean, there's certain parts that are a little bit more, but other parts that just kind of like, okay, this is like real old school horror. It's not like your Scooby-Doo horror. It's just on a different level. And somebody was asking me recently about going to Disneyland and how their kids might fare in certain rides. And I was like, I don't know for Haunted Mansion, because that could be a little bit scary. You know what I mean?
Suck it up.
So that's what I've always loved about it. That it's like, it's not kid horror. It's not so kiddie horror. It's like more like in the middle somewhere, like you could actually write a really dark movie about Haunted Mansion. Like you could make it rated R. Disney will never do this, but that would be a cool concept.
That'd be so cool to see like a rated R type of like movie about the bride in Haunted Mansion.
But actually with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, we might get our wish. I don't know if there's you know what I mean?
Isn't there another one similar like that coming out? Like another franchise?
The guy who did Blood and Honey said that I think Bambi is in the works. There's going to be like a Bambi horror movie, and then they're going to do another Blood and Honey with a better budget.
Bambi dressed up like a human, goes into Walmart, buys an AR, and gets back at.
Well, maybe
Man,
maybe Bambi like doesn't get killed, but he or she. I don't know if Bambi is a girl or a boy. Is it a girl, right? Bambi's a girl.
I can't confidently answer that. I think it's a boy.
Okay. So whatever Bambi is. Okay. So maybe he sees his mother get killed, and then he's traumatized, or she's traumatized, and then she almost gets killed herself. But then she becomes like real feral and fucked up, and she like maybe ingests some, I don't know, plutonium or some like toxic liquid, and becomes this giant fucked up creature that lives in the woods and eats like hunters.
There we go.
That could be. See, I wrote it already. That would be a great film, because I hear people talk a lot about weird shit that they see in the woods anyway, real fucked up stuff that they see. So that would be a good story. That would be a good horror movie if they did it right.
We ever talked about speaking of weird shit in the woods? Have we talked in a while about the Bachelor's Grove night with Mike Norott?
We haven't. I don't know if we talked about that on here, but we could run through that story.
We should, and then it's been a while since Mike came on. Mike should come on a night that he's not having wrestling. Get a little bit of whiskey by his side, and we should talk about that night and some fun backyard wrestling times too. But so we were, keep me honest here, Kyle. You, me, Tim Valenta, Mike. We're all going to Bachelor's Grove. So now, those of you not familiar with Bachelor's Grove in the suburbs of Chicago, this is a closed-off cemetery, right, Kyle? Like, closed to the public now?
It's been closed to the public for, I think, a long time. Like, people are definitely not allowed in there, and that there's like a house that sits there that always like watches people go in and calls the police. So it's actually really hard to get in there now. Without getting caught by the police.
Oh,
so
used to not be able to.
But like this area has been. If you read any Haunted America book or Haunted Illinois book, they will always cite this place as a place of spiritual activity, ghost stuff. We even saw like a Ghost Hunters about this, Bachelor's Grove. I remember I saw this when I came out to Arizona for the first time. We watched this, and I was
Zach
like
Bagans,
blown away
because Ghost Adventures.
I saw they went in there, and I was blown away because they were showing stuff that I saw when I was in there, and I was like, no fucking way, that's crazy. So that was yeah, there's definitely some stories there.
Well, we were that one night for whatever reason we just decided we wanted to go, and you and Mike ended up going ahead. Tim Valenta and I stayed back. Tim was just the energy, the vibe was different that night. He was like throwing up, or no, Mike was the one puking. That's right.
I don't know why Mike. We walked a block and he puked. I don't know if maybe he shotgunned too many Frosties that night or something, but like it was definitely it was a problem.
Think about what you just said. Just physically think about Mike walking like a block and then be like, "Oh, it's too much." Blah.
And Turtle was having a hard time that night.
Oh, that got me tonight. That one got me. Oh my god. So anyway, but before Kyle and Mike went into Bachelor's Grove, and they had a camcorder too that we ended up watching, and we'll get to that in a second.
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah. Oh, you don't remember that part? Okay. And then there was a giant open field that we walked by, and it was like between like two forests, and you could see into the field, but behind that fence that we looked into was where Bachelor's Grove resided. And I remember I remember this vividly. We had to be 16, 17, something like that. Old enough where we can drive, so 16, 17, not like 18 yet. There were like black boxes, shadowy figures that were jumping up and down across that field. And like it was nothing that I could explain. And we all saw it.
So I remember seeing that for sure. But that's actually where we were at that time.
Mm-hmm.
It was nowhere near the cemetery.
Oh, it wasn't?
But,
oh, never mind.
But you know what's interesting is there's weird shit in that woods. And if you don't know the story, like there's like a little cemetery and there's like a little pond right by the highway in like the middle of the woods kind of. And legend says that, there's a few stories about it, but one of the stories that has come up a lot is that Al Capone used to dump bodies down there. And there was like even a newspaper clipping about, like it showed like a woman sitting on top of a gravestone. It was like a ghost, quote unquote.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
But, I've been in there more than a few times. I mean, maybe it was during the night. It was during the nighttime, obviously. Maybe that was legal or not legal. I don't know. But I didn't get caught. So whatever.
Exactly.
But there was times I went in there and didn't see anything, but there was two distinct times where I saw something that I couldn't explain. And I'm, with like, I love supernatural stuff. I love spiritual stuff. I'm always the one to be like, that's bullshit. But there were two things that I saw that actually was not even in the graveyard. It was outside of the graveyard. So, I don't think this was when we were there, other than the black jumping things. But when I was walking out of there, like the way we took was like you can either go in through the highway or near the highway, which is you're going to get caught, or you cut through the woods on a couple blocks over where nobody can see you. So you have to.
That was the ideal way to get in there.
Yeah, that's how you get in there. But we were walking out, and I remember, like deep in the distance in the woods, there was like this floating light bulb, like in the trees, and there was nobody under it. You could see it clear as day, and when you walked towards it, it would like move back, and it was like floating in midair, and it would like brighten and dim, and it was really weird and unusual. And I don't know how to explain it. We had to leave for some reason. I think we had like school, so we had to get out of there pretty fast. So we couldn't go like chase after whatever that light was. But strange enough, like when we watched Ghost Adventures, they showed that light on that episode, which blew me away. Yeah. I'm like, what is that? And the other thing that I saw coming out that time was, like, I remember there was like a flash of blue light right in front of me. Now this is the middle of the pitch black woods. There's nothing
it's dark
in there.
Yeah.
It's dark. It's nowhere near the road. And there was this big ball of flash of light, blue light in front of me. And I remember, like, it was weird because like I felt the energy from it.
Ooh.
Like it's I couldn't explain it. I don't know what it was. But I remember the hair stood on the back of my neck and I just felt weird energy from it. So to this day I'm like I can't explain what that is. I just know that it was pretty large. It was like maybe the size of two basketballs put together. I mean it was a significant light. It was weird. So but yeah.
To finish up that one Bachelor Grove story, and look Bachelor's Grove up if you guys don't believe us. There's some crazy shit that has gone on there. I'm sure there's been better footage. Yeah. But we had, I think, the same camcorder we'd use for Scourge or the backyard wrestling shit back in the day. You or Mike were carrying it, or it was Mike's camcorder. I don't know.
This was before cell phones.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Well, way before cell phones. I mean, cell phones existed, but they were just like the track phone ones, or like the early Nokias that we all had. So we were walking with the camcorder, and it was dark, but all you heard was sound. And I remember there was a sound just getting louder and louder on the camera as you guys were walking, and then right before a giant just kind of just like crash that you two don't recall hearing, we all agreed that we heard "I'm right behind you" on the video.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember that. Okay. Yeah.
And then it crashed, and
Yeah,
we
it
were
was
like,
like a
what
whisper.
the fuck? Yeah.
It was like a. Yeah, that was creepy.
I left that tape outside in my driveway overnight.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
It does make sense. It's fun stuff. But you know what doesn't make sense? Well, you know what else does? This does make sense. Secret Invasion is a big, hot, steaming pile of pile. Last I checked, Kyle, the finale, the series finale of Secret Invasion, and I hate to say it like this, but the MCU has just been since Endgame. You know, outside of No Way Home.
No Way Home. Well, Multiverse of Madness was great too, so give him credit for that.
Sure, but it just, with all the TV shows, it just feels too much. It had an 11% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. 11%. Not the series overall, but that last episode.
Well, you know, honestly, the last two episodes were probably the best of the series.
Okay.
Because like something actually happened. And did you watch it by chance?
No. You can say it.
So
you can say it. I'll watch it.
Okay, so I mean, really, the goal of Gravik, which is like the main bad guy, is he was trying to get this vial that had like Avengers DNA in it, and there's like a number of Avengers that is included in this DNA. So there's like a list. You could actually look it up online. There's like I think 16 or something, 11 to 16 or something like that. So Gravik gets it obviously, and then Emilia Clarke's character Gaia also gets it. So there's this fight between them, and you see them kind of like use certain superhero powers. Like you see, like they had like the Hulk's arm or like Thanos's arm, and it's like using different powers. Like they use Captain Marvel's powers, so it was kind of cool for that. She's like, they kind of fought each other, and obviously, spoiler alert, she kills Gravik. I mean, is it really a spoiler if it's a terrible series? I don't know, but
she kills Grab Ass. Move it along.
Yeah, so basically, Gaia gets all the like Avengers powers, and so she has kind of like a this exists inside of her, so she's like a super Skrull, and that's really where it ends, and I think that's. Like, one, I was like, the whole series, I'm like, why are they wasting Emilia Clarke? Because if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you know that she's the mother of dragons. She carried that show. She's a beloved character. She was awesome. Like, she was just a total badass. Like, why would they waste her in the show? But like at the end, it kind of like redeemed her a bit, and I could say that I hope that I see more of her in some other Marvel medium, and I think we will for sure. But overall, this TV show was not the success it should have been. Like I think they could have made like a 3-part movie dedicated to this concept, and maybe they will. Maybe they will. But I don't know. It's like the Secret Invasion could have had so many larger implications and played into such a larger story that reducing it to like a 6-episode TV series maybe just didn't do it justice. So a lot of it was just real boring and dry. And this is again why I said I didn't get into Andor, because it was slow and it just wasn't my speed, But I think a lot of people felt similar about this, it when they watched it as well. So yeah, this was a swing and the miss. I don't know what it is about this year in superhero films, but man, we need some.
It's burnout.
We need we need some like good ones. We need somebody to like redeem this genre. Maybe it's one of those things where it has to go away to come back in a way. So and now with the Hollywood writer strikes, I mean, I was just so bummed about all the movies they got pushed
Yeah,
back.
a bunch of stuff.
In particular, we were going to get Craven in October.
Yeah, we got a trailer
which
for
is
that.
that actually looked like a good trailer. I mean, I think it looked good. I mean, Craven's not one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, but like it actually looked kind of cool. Like it looked like a good trailer. And for some reason they just pushed it back a fucking year. And even the icing on the cake is Into the Spider-Verse, or Across the Spider-Verse Part 2, which we thought we were going to get right away. We should get right away, is just delayed indefinitely. Like, this is fucking madness. And maybe, I'm sure it's just the tip of the iceberg with this writer's strike, because I don't know if I see an end in sight. Lord knows we're not going to see the Batman 2 now for forever.
Or the Penguin.
I think actually the Batman 2's production is supposed to start in November. So maybe they'll figure out something by then. I hope.
It's a tough economic culture or climate. I rather say it's a tough economic climate out there for everybody. And again, this isn't the writers who making billions of dollars writing a script. This isn't the Fran Dreschers or the Bryan Cranstons that you're seeing out there who make a good living because they're the rarities, right? The ones that you see all the time in movies and TV shows. It's your everyday people like us who work Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week and weekends. It's ends meet kind of thing. And it's unfortunate for them, but they have to live in LA, so it's not my fault.
What's interesting is I was talking to our buddy Gacky, who was once a member of Scourge today.
For
and he sent me a couple of texts today, and he's like, he was playing around with Chat GPT, and he said, write a story. He told Chat GPTs, like, write a story where Art the Clown from the movie The Terrifier fights Michael Myers in a disco club. And I was reading the story that it wrote, and it was actually like, I felt like I was reading a book. And then he asked it another question. He's like, rewrite the ending to Halloween Ends. And it wrote a different ending to it. And it's like, you just asked it a question, and it just produced, like, it wasn't just like a few sentences. It was like a few paragraphs. It was reflective of the characters and the story. And I was like, this is the future. So now people don't even have to fucking write anything anymore. They could just put it in Chat GPT, and Chat GPT will take care of it for you. And this is, maybe you could say this is like the Uber to the taxi, but I don't know. When you have a technology that can replace pretty much everybody, maybe there's some stuff that just won't be replaced, but that's really scary, But I guess, Hollywood doesn't have to give into that, because now there's a technology that exists that will do that for them and is infinitely cheaper. So now they can just recoup all the money that they make from whatever medium they produce.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
sickening.
like it.
It's
I don't
kind of
like
sickening.
it. From like a creative standpoint, I don't like it. It's not human. It doesn't feel authentic, right, to me.
But how would you know? You know, when I was reading this, what he had sent me, if he
I'm gonna
didn't
start
tell me
looking
it
for
was
writer
from
credits.
ChatGPT, if he just said, "Hey, I wrote this," like I've been working on it for a while, I wrote this, like, wow, dude, that was really cool. Like that was a really cool idea. Like it seems real professional. Like it,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
scary. I mean,
I still
think of
don't
it
like
this
it.
way. This could actually do something to the effect of if I said, write us a song off of Master of Puppets, that's in the same vein as Master of Puppets, and it could fucking do it. And that's where we're at, people, is that we're having AI technology writing songs that could have been on Master of Puppets,
I don't want
which
to listen
is
to AI generated music. Absolutely not. I won't do it.
it's going to happen though. Music and movies are
That's
really
fine.
threatened right now
I am more than okay
with this
with
technology.
listening to the current Metallica discography for the rest of my life. More than fine with that. I can do that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like. I mean, I think Metallica, will always be fine, but I don't think there's ever going to be another Metallica. Like at least in the metal community, I just don't see it.
Well,
You know,
what's old becomes new again. Just let this part run its course, and then,
that's true. That's true. It's kind of like the people who like dress in like '70s wear, and it kind of just seems to fit. It's like a style that just is accepted.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Thankfully, your mother will never go out of style. So,
Oh, that was just lazy. You could do better than that. Maybe you should ask ChatGPT to do better. There you go.
oh, I should
There you
ask.
go. You and Brad can use this to your advantage and actually say something that's intelligent and witty and funny because you guys are just not.
Remember earlier today when I called you the secret ginger man? The secret ginger man. Were you listening?
No.
No, you weren't listening when I called you the secret ginger man. By the way, I have to give all credit. I got a text message in the middle of the week from our good buddy Tim Marciano. He came up with that one, so debuted it today on the podcast for him and you, secret ginger man. And what I'm doing that you can't hear is not lazy either. So, we talked about the projects getting pushed back. Kyle, are you going to help Jabba the Hutt, or are you going to steal his Rancor like me in Star Wars Outlaws? What are you going to do?
Well, you know what? This game is getting a lot of a buzz, and I'm seeing a lot of different stuff from it. I'm just getting more excited. This is like a Star Wars GTA kind of a game, so
Yo.
I really think that's really fucking cool. I hope you can. I don't know if you can interact with other characters from the Star Wars world. I would assume that you would be able to. So I think that makes really infinite potential for this. But am I going to help Jabba the Hutt, or am I going to go against him? Well, I mean, what's he going to have us do? Like steal all the nachos from Bob Chapek or something like that? I don't know.
He might.
I mean, if you could just see him getting fatter, then I might help him because I kind of would want to see that.
Maybe you can help deliver. Wait, no. When I know we see Han and Carbonite in the trailer. Maybe you can help get it to Jabba's palace from Boba or something.
I mean, you can't obviously you're not the one who kills him, but how far this is in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, right?
Yes, 5 and 6.
So is it going to end where Return of the Jedi ends? Like, is it going to go all the way up until Jabba dies? Are you going to be there when?
Oh, I would.
Leia kills him.
I'd love it.
That actually would be really
out.
cool.
Yeah,
like if that was the final area or something like that.
Help Leia and Han kill Jabba. That'd be cool.
Or like you're just, maybe they don't know who you are and you're just there kind of like aiding them because, Jabba's a big piece of shit.
Yeah. I wonder who like the big bad is going to be for your character. Is it going to be somebody in the Empire? Is it going to be a mixture? Is it going to be like like the Pikes or a crime syndicate? Is Jabba the main baddie? But you can choose to help him. And I'm going to do everything I can to steal his Rancor before Luke gets there, and I'm going to wreck the Star Wars timeline.
And when are we going to see Kira again? We were talking about Emilia Clarke and great characters. Like, this could be a time where she could show up. I mean, obviously, it's like kind of in that timeline anyway, right?
Well, this is well after Solo, but she's very prominent in the comic books right now with Crimson Dawn. She's leading Crimson Dawn, and I know she was in possession, I think, of Hans Carbonite for a little bit around this time period as well. So her and Crimson Dawn are definitely around, and I more expect to see them or hear about them than more than anything in this game, especially since we have a scoundrel character who deals with the crime syndicates. I'm down.
And I like how that's, like at least Jedi Survivor, it kind of had it was open. Like they could use Star Wars characters, because even like ones maybe some people didn't do. If you didn't collect all the bounties, you didn't know that, spoiler alert, Boba Fett shows up, which is something like I beat the game and then like I couldn't do the bounties because it needed a patch, and so I went back and did it. But like, I like how there's, stuff like that in there. That's like just so cool.
I know. And that was something that I found out way after the fact. Didn't even see it online. So, man, but you guys have been great. We have been Fourth Mother Box. Follow us at Fourth Mother Box on Instagram, youtube.com/Fourth Mother Box. We are here. If you've puked and thrown up enough this past 45 minutes, we appreciate you for all the following and subscribing that you're doing. But as always, we leave Kyle to leave us with the final thoughts today. So, Kyle, disappoint us like you've disappointed your parents.
Well, I'll never disappoint your mother.